If there's just one thing I want people to take away from this review, it's this. Do not overlook this game. If you watch this video and think the mechanics or the systems are not to your liking, fair enough. But please do not judge this on a first impression, because beneath the kind of cheap looking presentation, there's a real gem of a shmup here, and one that comes to Switch in a new 2.0 form that is absolutely packed with content and features. Now let's get that negative out the way first. This game is not a looker. Or at least not in terms of being attractive or offering any sort of wow factor. Everything just looks very flat. There are a variety of enemy designs on show, and crucially, the visuals do a good job of making things very clear to the eye, but I can see a lot of people taking one look at this and saying, nah, not for me. And as big a shame as that is, I do understand where they're coming from. This game just doesn't look like it's gonna be good. But it is good. In fact, it's very good. If you ignore all the classics like the Cave, Psycho, Toaplan, etc. games, and only look at the new original shmups that have come out during the Switch's lifetime, I would even go so far as to say this is up there with games like Neko Navy and Star Hunter DX as among the best on the system. The main game here consists of 5 stages, but each one is pretty lengthy, and even if all the game offered was an arcade mode, it definitely wouldn't feel too short. You have 2 ships to choose from, and each offers the same 4 weapon options. First you have your regular wide shot, and this narrows to a cave style focus shot with a different button. You also have a bomb, which, while it doesn't clear the screen, does clear the area immediately around you, and offer a few short moments of invulnerability. Finally, you have a special shot which can clear bullets and is restricted in use by a cooldown timer. In one pilot's case, this special takes the form of a prolonged beam, while in the other it is a single but meaty cannon shot. The first 3 elements here, while being fairly standard, all work very well and, coupled with well-judged movement speed, would make a nice little shmup on their own. But it's the special shot that is really Hellblaster's most interesting feature. Although it is on a cooldown, that timer is actually pretty short, provided you keep charging it by hitting enemies with your focus shot, and the more you play, the more you realise that you're supposed to be using your special really pretty frequently. It also, as mentioned, carves away bullets and is at least as important as a defensive measure as it is powerful as a form of attack. It also plays into scoring, the main component of which is a counter that increases with the number of enemies you take out in quick succession, with a meter dropping rapidly whenever you're not hitting something. However, this counter can also be increased by clearing bullets, and often the most effective way to get your counter up is to allow the screen to become filled with bullets before using your special to slice away through the densest part of a pattern. This is just as satisfying as it sounds, and particularly during boss fights you can use this technique to send your counter rocketing skywards. And the bullet and enemy patterns are all well formed to both keep you on your toes in terms of dodging while also giving you opportunities to build up your counter. There are also some really interesting and unusual patterns and sections of play that force you to move in surprising ways. Again, boss fights stand out here with sections like the moving swan head or the turtle that floods the screen with bullets, then fires out uncancelable kind of bowling ball like things, giving the feeling that you're really seeing something a bit different, and vitally, something different that actually works. The difficulty also escalates nicely. On normal, stage 1 and 2 are not too challenging, but things start heating up in stage 3, and stage 5 is an absolute maelstrom of bullets, enemies, and slowdown, although whether 100% intentional or not, the slowdown here feels more like the type that is there to help you than a simple inability to run the game. If normal is not for you, however, there are 4 other difficulties, ranging from journalist mode, complete with auto bombs and almost all bullets being destructible with any shot, to far more challenging difficulty levels going in the other direction. There is also a story mode which breaks each stage down into nice manageable chunks, offers lots of tutorials, and rewards you with stars for completing certain conditions on each mini segment. In between these segments there are visual novel style cutscenes that, while I can't complain about them since they're entirely optional, didn't hold much interest for me, either in terms of narrative or the flat and basic accompanying images. What did hold my interest, however, was the score attack mode, which takes place across a custom-made run and even features new enemy types not seen in the main game. There's also a level select with stages broken up into several sections for ease of practice. And all this is before we even get to the main new event of this Switch release, which is the new Arrange mode. This takes place over the same stages, but there are new mechanics at play with collectible power-ups that add options around your ship, and a new score system that grants bonuses as you pick up medals that increase in size the more you collect in succession. This is a really fun way to mix things up, and purely in terms of raw content, Hellblasters is absolutely brimming. But beyond these playable modes, the game also offers pretty much everything the discerning young shmup fan about town could ever ask for. It has online leaderboards separated by mode and difficulty, it has replays, it has achievements, multiple backgrounds, multiple endings for those interested in the visual novel side of things, and really multiple endings, and a variety of other customizable options. Not the least of which is the Tatty mode, which, because the game plays with a very narrow width, will absolutely fill your rotated TV screen or flip-gripped handheld Switch. All in all, there is very little to dislike here, other than the visuals. And while to some it may sound superficial, I do have to say they do knock the game down a peg or two for me. I don't need 4K ray-traced space monkeys before I'll be happy, but a little more panache would have gone a long way here. However, as I said at the start, absolutely do not allow this one shortcoming to put you off. This is a really fun and engaging shmup, and I think it's well worth the price for all the content on offer. I would give Hellblasters an 8.5 out of 10 overall, and for me, if we want to see shmups maintaining the little renaissance they've been enjoying recently, it's exactly new games like this that it's important to support to help the devs grow and allow them the opportunity to give their bright new ideas a more polished stage on which to shine in the future. Let us know your thoughts if you play this, whether it's on Switch or PC, and thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Cheers.